maybe we could talk a little bit more about this general theme throughout the podcast, but the highs and lows of being a professional dirt bike racer.
I mean, Pierce won his first ever pro race.
The last race.
SMX. Was that his first? No, he's won before, right?
No, that was his first one. And that was the last race that he did.
Yeah.
So,
and then he was going to win this one.
So the highs and lows. And he was also, that was the heat race or the main that he got hurt?
The main. That was the main.
The heat race he was winning.
That was like 8 minutes into the main.
Golly.
And the dude is, I mean, he's such a good rider. He's pretty technically good.
He looked great.
He stays, except through like what you said through the whoops, I guess. But
yeah, but he looked good in the
from
other
what I've
ones.
seen, he stays very proper.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps his head forward very well.
So to go from your first race win ever.
I mean, he's on such a high.
Starting the season, winning the race, and
I mean, he was
break your back.
2.5, 3 seconds in front of Anstey, gaining. Anstey wasn't gaining. Pierce was faster. Pierce was faster in the whoops. Pierce was faster in the sand.
That's why growth mindset and having the right state of mind is so freaking important, because otherwise being a pro, I've had this experience my entire time being pro. It can feel like you're taking one step forward and 2 steps backwards.
Yeah.
Because you're literally riding a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
Right? Or you're not. Or you're the person that can kind of deal with those things, not judge them as good or bad. Like, you know, you could take the perspective of you're grateful and lucky that you can walk.
Right.
Or you can take the perspective of, man, I should have won that race, and what if this and what if that. Very, very tough to do.
Right.
Very tough to do. But what's also tough to do is to have a race like that red flagged, be a teammate of the guy even,
and have to go out and lead
then
that
have
race.
To go back out
and lead that race.
Yeah.
After just seeing that, because Max Dancy was right behind him.
Yes.
And had a front row seat to that crash.
Yep. That's also hard to do.
And Max had to go out after a 10-minute break and go and...
Have you had that experience before at a race where maybe or a practice day where you see somebody get messed up and it's like, do I even want to keep going or not?
My friend Adam, that came to class in California.
Yep. Oh yeah.
His brother Mason. So me and him, Mason did his first ever race with me one day. It was maybe a summer NESC race or something. And we were on the gate together, and gate drops. I come around the first lap and I see him laying down in the grass with the medics all around him on the start straight. Like, I'm like, well, now I have to race knowing my best friend that I just dropped the gate with is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't look like it was good. And he ended up getting plate and screws and stuff in his leg. He snapped his leg. But
it's hard to get back into the frame of mind.
And then I had to, and I had got off. That was the first moto, and I had a second moto to do later that day. Yeah, that was tough.
Yep. And I'm sure that's relatable to a lot of people too, and you have to snap back instantly sometimes. I saw a GoPro footage today of somebody in MXGP riding behind a dude who got like kind of Chad Reed type Millville quick aggressive head shake before a jump, got squirrely, and then just went right and like jumped into a ravine. It was like, it was crazy looking. And you could see the GoPro, he like watches him in the air and then has to look back and land on the throttle. And I'm just, as I'm watching, So as I'm watching that clip, I'm picturing that being me, and how many times I've had that happen to where you see somebody ruin themselves.
Yeah.
And you have to immediately, within a second, forget that just happened.
Yeah.
And keep going. It's actually quite
fight for
crazy.
your life.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's pretty crazy.
Because in any second that could be you. So you have to keep watching out for your life and forget about, which is hard to just stop thinking about that other person in that moment and think about, I could be there too. You know what I mean? To have that moment of realization and
pulling it back to mindset.
Yeah. Being
present. Not worried about what might happen in the future or what just happened to that person in the past. It's like you have to have that.
What can I do right now? Yeah.
That mind of being right here, right now.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, See you next episode.